Hello, welcome to Rando Tech Info, and today we're talking about the Samsung Galaxy A52 5G. Now, while Samsung's S series of phones tend to get the lion's share of the attention from reviewers and other folks online, the A series is actually the series that gets the most sales for Samsung, usually because of their lower price and usually pretty good value. Speaking of value, this video is free, which is about as good a value as you get. If you want to see more great value videos, please feel free to sub to the channel.
It's a bit of a stretch.
Now, today we are just talking about the A52, not the A72. Both phones were announced at the same time, and it might seem to make sense if I were going to talk about both those phones together. But my plan right now is to actually pass on talking about the A72. The A72 is not being brought over here to the US, and according to Tom's Guide, the reason that's being done is because they're afraid, Samsung is afraid that the phone would compete too closely with the S20 FE from last year, which I guess makes sense since the A52 costs $500 and the FE costs $700. I think Samsung was just worried about where the A72 would fall in between and was probably worried about that phone cannibalizing the sales of the other two. So honestly, if you're a US consumer, I would probably pass on the A72 and I would either look at the 52 or the FE, but if you really are interested in the 72 and enough people ask me about it, I will go ahead and make a video about it in the future. Just let me know down in the comments if that's something you'd like to see. So now let's get back to the A52 and talk price and availability. This phone is $499. You can buy it from actually a lot of different places, like for example, Amazon. But they only seem to be selling the international version of the phone right now, and I think that's different than the phone being sold at the carriers, so I probably wouldn't go that way. I would probably definitely buy from the carriers or from Samsung.com, but if you buy from Samsung.com, I would probably not buy the unlocked version, and I would probably buy the version made for your carrier. Let me explain. So first off, in case you've never watched one of these videos before or recently, in order for a phone to work on your carrier or be guaranteed to work well on your carrier, it has to meet two things. It has to be certified by the carrier, it has to be approved to work on their network, and it has to utilize the right frequency bands. It has to have the hardware to use the frequency bands that your carrier uses. Now, on the certification front, this phone is covered. It's going to be sold for all of the carriers, so certification shouldn't be an issue. Now, where things get tricky is with hardware. So first off, let's get something out of the way real quick. This phone does not support millimeter wave 5G, and you wouldn't expect it to at this price point. So you won't get millimeter wave 5G on any of the carriers. Now, as far as the other 5G coverages and 4G is concerned, it's a little bit strange. So if you go on Samsung.com and look at the frequency bands that the phone supports, it's all over the map. It doesn't actually support all of the frequency bands that the carriers use. But like if you go to the carrier's website, like if you go to T-Mobile's website, it does say the phone supports all the frequency bands the carrier uses, minus of course the millimeter wave 5G. So I'm not sure if there's actually different versions of the phone or if Samsung just hasn't updated its website from selling the international version of the phone to the US version of the phone. Now, the good news here is even if you go to Samsung.com, you can buy the phone for any carrier. You can select whether you want the phone to be unlocked or whether you want it from Verizon, T-Mobile, or AT&T. So if you want to be absolutely sure the phone is going to be optimized to work on your network, you can always just buy the phone for your carrier off Samsung.com. You can also buy the phone directly from AT&T and T-Mobile right now on their websites, and I assume down the road you'll be able to do the same with Verizon as well. You can always roll the dice and try the unlocked version of the phone. It's a pretty low risk proposition since you should be able to return it because it's being sold domestically. But if you want to just be sure you get the best working version of the phone for your network, you should probably just buy the one meant for your carrier. Well, that's all the information I have about the A52 today. If you have any questions about anything I said, please ask those down in the comments and I will try to get back to you. As always, I hope you found the video useful. Thank you for watching, and until next time, this is Rando Tech Info, signing out.